What's going on, people? Welcome back to the player ratings. I'm Dee and I'm joined by Patrick, as always, to discuss the player ratings from the game against Burnley. As always, we want to hear from you, so leave your ratings down in the comment section below. And before we do get into the video, quick shout out to our sponsors, Manscaped, who are sponsoring this video, and you can go and benefit from it by going to manscaped.com and getting 20% off plus free shipping by using the code BOTN. Go support yourself, go support the channel, and head over to manscaped.com. Patrick, now let's talk about that game. 1-1 draw. Some people were upset, some people are saying respect the point is getting a bit boring, but enough of that. Let's talk about the individuals who were out there, and let's start off with the goalkeeper, Jack Butland, who started once again. You gave him a 7, I gave him a 6.5. Well, I was gonna say, apart from the goal, there wasn't much to do. But even the goal itself, like, it wasn't really his fault. I think it was a quiet afternoon for him.
Yeah, I mean, didn't have much to do. Did what he had to do. There's nothing you could do about that own goal. I mean, Luka did his best to try and cut out the cross. What I would give him extra half a point was I thought he made a good save on that Weghorst header on the corner kick. He tipped over, so that's why I gave him a higher. But again, I got to give Butler doesn't play every match, obviously, because of Guaita. But whenever he comes in, he's doing a decent job. The Millwall game apart, he's been very solid for us, and his distribution's getting a lot better. So yeah, he's playing pretty well so far.
Let us know if you guys think Vieira will start him in the FA Cup game against Stoke, because that's going to be a big talking point. Whether he's going to play against the old club, let us know if you guys would start him, or if Vieira would start him. I think he would, but
I will too. Yeah, I do too.
I thought he had a solid performance. He didn't have much to do, but when he was called upon in that one save, yeah, he did make it. Nathaniel Klein, 7.5 from you. Very high rating, and 7 from me. Both of us rated him pretty much in this game, but you talked about yesterday. You liked what he done going forward as well as defensively.
Yeah, just some very quick stats. 77% pass rating, 2 out of 3 ground duels, 1 out of 2 aerial duels, 1. 9 recoveries on defending. And like I said, I just noticed him getting forward a lot. And the thing is, not the Ward wasn't getting forward, but when he gets forward, whereas he would overlap, he would also unlap. A lot of times you see him go inside of Olise, so he's in the box a lot, which I like, which is what Mitchell also does. So I just find that, and to me, very, very quick. I mean, I know he's a lot older than when he first started, when he was 18, 17-year-old, but the speed I like of him. So he's still got that pace, right? Exactly. So again, he's not a long-term solution at right back, and I'm not putting down Wardy at all. But I like what I'm seeing from Nathaniel. And again, I think that if you listen to his post-match interviews, he's liking that he's getting a chance to play. He's doing really well, and I think he's doing a really good job back there. I mean, nothing against Wardy, but I like what I'm seeing from Klein so far.
Let us know if you guys think that Nathaniel Klein will be the number 1 right back going forward, because I personally feel like over the last 2 games he has earned that spot. He looks better going forward, and defensively he's still got the legs as well.
One more thing, he just had a shot on goal. Remember, he had a shot. Had that shot in the first half. So so he's getting forward a lot. I like that about him.
Joachim Anderson, he struggled against Burnley last time around when we played him in the 3-3, balls over the top. He just looked out of place. But ever since then, he has improved. But in this game, he did struggle a bit, didn't he?
Yeah, I think especially in the second half. I think first half he was definitely better. He had 88 touches, but his pass rating was down, 68%. For him, that's very low. And the long balls, only 3 out of 80 accurate long balls, which is not like him. But again, a lot of people were slating him. I watched a couple of other shows yesterday. People were slating him. I didn't think he played that poorly, but I think second half, obviously, Burnley had a rocket from their manager at halftime, so their tactics were different. They were much more up for it second half. But again, Anderson has improved a lot since that first Burnley game. Yesterday was not one of his better matches at all for us.
The funny thing is, Sean Dash actually said that he didn't say anything harsh to them. He just said, go out there and play like that. So exactly, he didn't even get into them. That's the funny thing. But they couldn't play any worse. They couldn't, exactly. After that first half they had. But another player that's been on form, that's been getting high ratings, is Mark Gay. But in this game, we both gave him a low rating. And my reason for it is not that he had a bad game, but he didn't have much to do. We talk about Anderson with his long balls. Maybe he could have improved there. But in this game, he had a quiet afternoon.
Yeah, for him. So interesting yesterday, most teams play obviously with 1 up top, like for instance, like Chelsea with Lukaku. But yesterday, obviously, Burnley have Weghorst and Rodriguez. So I noticed yesterday, Anderson was more on Weghorst because of the height issue. Obviously, Weghorst, I'm sure you notice, is very, very tall. Whereas Gay, he had Rodriguez. So I thought Gay had a good game. 80% pass accuracy. Long balls a little better than Anderson, 5 out of 11. And he had 4 clearances. So I thought he played well. I thought that when he went down for the injury, after that, it was a little bit off of it. But I don't think he had a poor game at all. Again, this is the thing with Gehi. Standards are very, very high for him. And he's always has a 7, 8 out of 10 every game. Still hardly isn't a poor rating, but to me, just wasn't at the highest up standard. But I thought he played well yesterday.
Yeah. Tyreek, 6.5 from me, 7 from you. Personally, I don't feel like he had much to do yesterday. I thought he was solid defensively, but going forward, maybe it's just me, but I didn't really see him doing the things that he done before. And it was not nothing bad. It's just that Will was the main man. We're going to talk about him later on down that left-hand side. I didn't really see Tyreek putting in that many crosses. And I think the stats prove it as well. I looked at the stats. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was only 1 attempted crosses all game long, which does make sense because we had no striker there. But overall, I thought he had a solid game. Nothing special.
Yeah, solid. Honestly, I'd probably give him a 6.5. It wasn't an outstanding game. The only thing I just noticed that was off for him was his passing was down about 65%. But he won 2 out of 2 tackles defensively, 3 clearances, which is not his strong suit. Obviously, he's not a large or tall left back. But Tariq was solid yesterday. But you're right. Our attacking on that left side was mostly, obviously, Wilf and or Schlupp.
It depends on who was it. Schlupp,
exactly, right, exactly. So, but Tariq was solid yesterday. Very solid yesterday.
This is a guy that we can talk about now. Luka Milivojevic.
Look at that.
Gave him a 6.5. Wow. I gave him a 7.5. And I say it many times off air, on air. When you have to give the player the respects, you just can't hold it back. Because he deserved it from me. And some people now, this is the talking point. Some people are going to say, how comes you gave him a 7.5? Look at that own goal. But if you look at the first half, and I say this, go and watch the first half again. Luka was one of the main reasons why they couldn't get him behind.
100%.
Why Mark Gahey had a maybe quiet game. He was very solid in front of the defense, and he was a player that everyone was talking about before the game. Why is he starting? But for me, apart from the own goal, which was very unlucky from him, so it'd be a bit harsh for me to rate him down for that. Maybe you have. I thought he had a very, very good game after being on the bench and not being involved for a very long time.
Yeah, no, I didn't mark him down for the own goal at all. I mean, there's nothing you could do about it. Watch it back a few times. There's really good header and just the cross that was put in Hope, hitting Hope kind of across and it went in. I actually thought it went straight in, so I didn't realize it was an own goal until the replay. He played 60 minutes, Luka. You're right, hasn't been a long time. 88% pass accuracy, only topped by, we'll get into second, by Wilf's 90%. 3 out of 3 ground duels won, 2 out of 2 aerial duels won. He was very, very solid. I mean, again, I've been a big Luka fan prior to this season. This season, I'm pretty much saying like everybody else, you know what? I don't see why he necessarily plays. He's still the club captain, so when he does play, you have to respect that. But I think he had a poor game yesterday, and you can't mark him down for the own goal. I thought he played really well yesterday, and again, he hasn't played in a long time. I thought he was solid yesterday. I just don't have anything that's needed to say bad to say about him yesterday.
Well, let us know what you guys thought about Luka's performance, because I know some of you were upset about the own goal, but just put the own goal aside. What did you guys think of his performance? I was overall impressed. And do you think he might have a role to play till the end of the season after that display? He might be back into, maybe the starting lineup or coming off the bench a bit more often. Let us know in the comment section down below. James McArthur now. One of, when he came on against Brentford, very good. Overall, ever since his injury, he's been solid. 7 for you, 7.5 from me. I thought he done a very good job defensively. And sometimes the midfielders, they can be a bit undershadowed when you look at our attackers and what they done in the game, or the defenders in terms of stopping a goal. I thought Mac had a solid game. I thought he was involved very, very much defensively as well as Luka. I think the stats prove that as well with the ground duels. Very solid performance from him, and I was impressed once again. Without him in midfield, you can maybe say that it could have been a whole different afternoon for Palace.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm not really sure I've seen the Maka, Gallagher, Luka midfield that often this season, maybe once or twice. But again, I thought Maka, very, very underrated player for us. A very key player, underrated. Had a very solid game. 88% pass success rate. 57 passes made, the most of anybody in the match. 2 out of 2 tackles, 3 out of 5 aerial duels. Solid going forward, solid defense. It's a shame that we didn't get a chance to do the Watford review, because had we done that ball from him to Will for that goal was absolutely exquisite. I mean, it really was. I mean, outside of the foot, curling around to Will for that 4th goal. But again, Mac is just, for me, just solid. Love watching him play. Hope he plays at least another season for us next year, because we need him.
Exactly, yeah. We do need him, and it's getting scary that we're relying on, Kiatis and Maccas and
exactly.
even now Luka.
When they get the job done.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
they're getting the job done, but yeah, we might need to
you're
look
right.
at midfield soon.
Yeah.
Conor Gallagher, a player that might also not be here next season. Very, very likely that he isn't going to be here. You gave him a 7, I gave him a 7, but I don't know if you noticed it. In the second half, I really, really liked his energy levels. He was on it to press them all game long. I could have given him a 7.5 as well, just like Maka. And thinking about it now, probably should have. But yeah, Gallagher, I was impressed by his performance, especially off the ball.
Yeah, touches were down a little bit, 53 touches, but I wrote down on my review all over the pitch. I mean, you're right. He was all over the pitch yesterday. That's what we need from him, Malayan. I love when he's able to get that free roll with Macca's in there to just like get forward. But again, he doesn't shirk defensively. 2 out of 3 tackles, won all over the pitch as far as that's concerned. Again, it's just a typical Gallagher performance. The only thing you didn't see yesterday was the goal or the assist, but just solid from him again. I just love the way he's playing again with Macca. Gives him a little freedom to kind of do things he doesn't normally do. But, a solid by Bala yesterday. Good performance.
Well, let's talk about assists. And this is the guy that's going to be delivering a lot of assists this season. Not this season, but for Palace until hopefully his contract expires and we can keep him forever. Olise, 8.5 from me, 8 from you. One word, describing one word, that performance.
Brilliant.
It's not going to be easy. Brilliant. Let us know in the comment section as well. Olise, one word, how do you describe him? Look, brilliant assist, but his composure, that is what makes me, I can't wait till he's going to develop to just a great player. I just know it. Just like Mark Gahey, his composure in and around the box, his footwork, it is ridiculous. He is better than what Wilf was around that age. And just saying that, it doesn't mean that he's going to be a better player than Wilf come Wilf's age. But I genuinely feel like he has got the potential. He has got the potential to be a great player. It's on him now. It's on him and the coaching staff to build him into that player. Once again, great assists and all game long, he just causes problems. Like, you can't keep him on a one-on-one.
Yeah, the link-up play with Wilf is to me more and more. Again, I like the fact that Wilf was up top because he was closer to Olise. But even when he went wide, they still found a way to find each other. Wilf finding Olise, Olise finding Wilf. So I really like that. And also defensively getting much, much better. He had 8 out of 11 ground duels won. He was fouled 3 times. He had 2 blocked shots. He's blocking shots. I mean, you expect that from Olise. And I want to just add, remember I mentioned earlier about he's not using his right foot enough? Look at yesterday. Chops to the outside, goes to the inside, right foot cross, beautiful cross, Schlupp scores. So obviously, and you can't. So if you don't think he's going to go left or he's going to go right, how do you stop him? It's impossible. So now he's come on along. The 5 assists this season also on our team this year. He's just playing really, really well. So is it most or is it Gallagher has the most? I think it's him, right?
I'm not too sure, but he's up there anyways. But put things into context, how many starts has he had? I think around 8 that I've heard. 8
exactly,
starts.
right.
Exactly. That is
every other start.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. Exactly. Now moving to the other side of the pitch, Jeffrey Schlupp. He scored a goal. Talk about assists. He's the one that finished it off. People are going to talk about maybe that goal wasn't that significant because it was an easy finish. But I'll just say, trust me, we've had many chances this season where you think it's going to be easy finishes and we missed them. I thought Jeffrey Schlupp, that was a good finish from him. But apart from that, which you can argue when you say apart from that, goal is a significant thing. But I just don't see why he is starting week in, week out. There are better players there. Edward should be starting ahead of him. For me, especially if he's playing out wide. If we're talking about midfield, bring on Eze, give him more minutes. But, what did you think of his performance? Because when he scored that goal, you was messaging me saying, oh, what did he say? Because I didn't want it to start. I was annoyed about that. Do you see that goal? Do you see that goal? Hope you're happy now. What did you think of it, though?
I thought, again, we've had discussions so many times. He's so much better playing more forward or wider. He's not a midfielder. First half, playing in the 3 with Olise and Zaha was significant. Watching the game again, I don't care anybody says, well taken goal. Reminds me a little bit of the Gahey goal against Hartley, put in that, ball from Olise goes in. He's the first player there, outside the foot, gets it in. Again, he put a ball in later for Mateta. What did Mateta do? Stood there, didn't get an end of it. So people say how easy that goal was from Schlupp, but the truth of the matter, if we had another chance later on in the game, a striker didn't score it. So he did well. The other thing is, again, he's not easily involved. Like 37 touches. Again, he's playing forward yesterday. How many touches he's supposed to really get? But again, he gets moved second half to midfield, and his performances just drop off. But again, I can kind of see where the manager's coming from with playing him, but again, you got to play him in the right spots. But you know how it works, D. With Hodgson last year, managers have favorite players that they like, whether it's energy, whether they do things that they like, and it's not going to change. Vieira's not going to change that. So, but I want to see him play more. No, I jokingly said to you yesterday he's going to score, and he did. I didn't think he's really going to score, by the way, and he did. But again, I get why he plays, but I'd like to see other players play. For instance, Eze, for instance, Gyro. But again, he has a role. I'm not going to take anything away from him yesterday. It was a really good goal. So we go from there.
Let us know what you guys think. Do you think that Jeffrey Schlupp is a starter for Palace? Could he be a starter? Well, he has been starting. Do you think he has a role there or more of an impact sub, which is where I'm leaning towards as the games go on? Because I just feel like there's better players that can perform in the roles that he's in. But look, great goal yesterday. Apart from that, nice ball to Mateta, but it wasn't a afternoon where you talk about Jeffrey Schlupp doing things. He didn't really do much apart from them things, which was significant to be fair. His goal, anyways. Zaha up front, first half, second half, after the subs and all of them shenanigans, he went out wide. 8.5 from me, 8 from you. Zaha can play up front. And I think Zaha or Edward is the most suited strikers for Vieira's system. Pressing forwards, moving out to the channels. And in the first half, that's what he was doing. He was not stuck through the middle. He was moving to the spaces that he can get in behind. And I think that's why him and Olise had a great game, because he had that freedom.
Yeah, I'm thinking now though. If you imagine having Olise, Edward, and Zaha up front, which I think we might have seen maybe once.
That's the dream.
That's the dream, because now you can interchange Edward and Zaha. You can interchange Olise and Edward. The combinations are ridiculous. So 90% pass rate for a guy who played at striker yesterday, highest on the pitch yesterday, ridiculous. Hits the post, won 7 out of 7 ground duels, 3 out of 3 successful dribbles. I mean, Wolf was all over the place. Again, what I really loved to see yesterday was you're right, D. For me, in this system we're playing right now, whether it's a 4-2-3-1 or the 4-4-2 or the 4-3-3 yesterday, put Wolf up there. But again, it depends on the team, because a team like Burnley with me and Tarkowski, get in between those two, run them around, move them around, because you can't put air balls in there. People say, well, stop Benteke. Yeah, the first game it did work. We also gave up 3 goals against them. You know what I mean? So we made to score 5 to beat them. Play Wolf in there so you can get in between, cause a bunch of havoc. And again, the link of play with him and Olise is getting ridiculous. I mean, even I noticed that Zaha and Edward are playing really well together. So again, imagine if Edward, Zaha, and Olise. To me, that's going to happen going forward the rest of the season, as the season progresses. But we've had a very solid game, coming off the brilliant game against Watford with the 2 goals. He's on a roll. So people who want to disrespect Wolf, they should really rethink that, because he's playing really well this season. He really is.
Exactly. And now moving on to the bench, JP. I don't think he offered much. He missed that chance as well. Anything else that you want to add about him? 6 from me.
No, not really. I mean, again, I just wish he was more in there, but he played a lot. So who knows? Maybe things are getting to him as far as I think you mentioned yesterday in one of the shows that sometimes when he gets on, it's a little bit time for him to kind of get into the game. He looks a little bit tired in the beginning, but again, just the average performance for him yesterday coming off the bench. He had 30 minutes yesterday. He was on there for 30 minutes, had 8 touches. So I mean, and no shots.
And then finally, Cheku Kiate, 6.5 from you. He came on for like 5-6 minutes. You was impressed by him.
I'll tell you why. 17 touches, 2 out of 3 ground duels, 1 out of 2 aerial duels, 1 in 6 minutes. He put himself about a lot in that little amount of time. And you know what? What's our biggest problem, right? Giving up late goals. He was involved in breaking up some play for Burnley that made sure we didn't have any worries at the end of the game. So that's why I gave him that score. So yeah.
Well, look, that's it from us in this episode of the Player Ratings. If you have enjoyed it, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to not miss out on future Palace content. Thank you to Patrick and thank you to everyone who's been watching this. Let us know your ratings down below and whether you agree or disagree with us with our individual ratings. And we will be back, hopefully, talking about that win against Stoke on Tuesday.
Come on!
Hopefully we have all 9s, all 10s across the pitch, and we talk about us going quarterfinals. Not going to be easy, but we'll be back. And until next time, up the Palace!